So, for an honorable mention, I would like to mention one person who deserves mention, honorable mention. He's not my number one pick. He's Abdullah ibn Afif al-Kindi. Abdullah ibn Afif is famous for one incident. There's just one incident about him that is reported. It is reported in Tarikh al-Tabari, in volume 19, page 167 to 168, as well as Al-Baladri's and Sab al-Ashraf, volume 3, page 413 to 414. The report says, and it's reported from Humayd ibn Muslim, who as we know was one of the men in Ibn Sa'd's army. It says, in the aftermath of the Battle of Karbala, when the prisoners were brought to Kufa, Ibn Ziyad called for a general prayer and gave a sermon saying, "Praise be to Allah who has revealed the truth and the followers of truth. He has given victory to the commander of the faithful, Yazid ibn Muawiyah, and his party. He has killed the liar who is the son of the liar, al-Husayn ibn Ali, and his Shia. And we seek refuge in Allah from such horrible evil. May Allah curse Ibn Marjana and his master, Ibn Muawiyah." So Ibn Ziyad, when he was giving this speech, a man stood up. Abdullah ibn Afif al-Azdi al-Ghamidi. I believe I said that he was a Kindi earlier. That was my mistake. He is a Azdi. I do apologize. So Abdullah ibn Afif al-Azdi was one of Banu Walibah, and he had been one of the Shia of Ali sallallahu alayhi. And his left eye had been lost in the Battle of Jamal. And at the Battle of Siffin, he had been struck on his head and another blow on his eyebrow, and as a result, his other eyes had been lost. So he was one of the veterans of Ali's wars, but he was disabled. He could not see anymore. And he hardly ever left the great mosque. After losing his eyesight, he dedicated his life to worship. So he would stay in the great mosque of al-Kufa, where he used to pray until night and then go home. When he heard Ibn Ziyad's speech, he shouted, "Son of Marjana, the ones who are liars and the sons of liars are you and your father, and the man who appointed you and his father. Ibn Marjana, are you killing the sons of prophets and trying to speak the language of true men?" Ibn Ziyad ordered, "Get him for me." The soldiers jumped towards him and seized him, but he gave the battle cry of al-Azd. Abdurrahman ibn Mikhnaf al-Azdi, who was one of the ancestors of the historian Abu Mikhnaf, interestingly, who was sitting there, declared, "You have brought trouble for others, you have destroyed yourself, and you have destroyed your tribe." At that time, there were 700 fighters of al-Azd present in Kufa. Some of the young men of al-Azd quickly moved to Abdullah ibn Afif and they took him away. They brought him to his family. Then Ibn Ziyad sent for some of those who would bring him back, and they killed him. And he was crucified in the wasteland of al-Kufa. So that is how he attained his martyrdom. And so, to comment on this, like, why did we give this man honorable mention? He was not at Karbala. We know that jihad, there are certain parameters that have to be met. So, you have to be a man, you have to be of fighting age. But if someone is not capable of jihad, if someone is blind, if someone is disabled, then the wajib is now no longer upon them. Correct? So Abdullah ibn Afif was disabled. He couldn't see. He was blind. Like many of the other Sahaba, like Zayd ibn Arqam and Abdullah ibn Abbas and Jabir ibn Abdullah, they were not required, we would say, to join. But Abdullah ibn Afif did it anyway. Abdullah ibn Afif, at this moment, this tyrant who thought he was above everyone, who thought that he was untouchable, who thought that he could stand on the mimbar and curse Amir al-Muminoon and curse an Imam al-Husayn sallallahu alayhi, this one blind man stood up to him. And it is as though, similar to his predecessor Zayd ibn Salhan, it is as though he was saying, it's time for me to join the eyes that I lost with Amir al-Mu'mineen sallallahu alayhi. One eye at Jamal, one eye at Siffin, and one life in Kufa.